Hey guys, it's Adam from the Dimensional Gaming Squad here, bringing you with the pilot episode of a brand new series, which I hope you like. If not, then I'll stop it. I'll stop it. I hope you like it because this is going to go on for a fair amount. I'm sure you know what it is. Let's see if I can describe it well. This is a series where I'll be going through each series of Doctor Who of the new era, ranking each episode with a score of 1 to 10, saying why I gave it that score, and then saying the villains of each episode as well, because that'll be fun, and also it's kind of a tongue twister to say some of these villains' names. And then I'll be doing a ranking of each of these episodes from least favourite to favourite. So then that'll be involving a ranking as well. So yay. So that'll be fair amount of stuff in one video. So obviously if we're gonna start this off, we have to start with series 1. So welcome to series 1. Christopher Eccleston, who played the Doctor, one and only season. So we start off the series with, episode 1 being Rose, being called Rose. The score I gave Rose, is a 7, because this episode was just designed to introduce this new companion, Rose, and it's a good introduction to new fans of Doctor Who. Like when it came out, answering a bunch of questions about the Doctor and the TARDIS and a bunch of other stuff. Some questions aren't answered, but they get answered later on in the series, so that's good. Yeah, it just introduces fans to the new Doctor Who, and answering questions for the newbies at this, so that'll be me, probably other people as well. Gods. Okay. So yeah, 7 is a good introduction to Rose, and just setting up the rest of the series very well. The villains in Rose were the Autons, or the Shop Window Dummies, and the Nestine Consciousness, which is the entity, I'm going to say, that controlled the Autons. So 7. Moving on to the second episode, The End of the World. Not yet, in a fair amount of years. This episode I also gave a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed this episode a lot, but it isn't the most creative episode. It was setting up the rest of the series with the time travel, bits, because pretty much all the other episodes take place in the future, apart from a whopping 1. So yeah. Right, so series, it's just introducing time travel and a villain, which I'll be talking about in the next series review. Anyway. Oh god, can I actually read this? Okay. So the villains in End of the World is adherents of the repeated meme, which are robotic droids, which gifted everyone with these silver balls, which contains a robotic spider in, which is controlled by the other villain, Lady Cassandra O'Brien. Delta 17. Yes, I wanted to say that full name because it sounded fun to say, just like another villain that is on here. Now we're moving on to the third episode, The Unquiet Debt. This one I gave a 6 out of 10. Despite being a good episode in my opinion, it's not as memorable or as interesting as the others, but it sets up and starts off the Bad Wolf chain which goes on with the entire series. It finally ended up with the Bad Wolf entity in the Parting of the Ways. But we'll get to that later. So it starts off Bad Wolf well, and you see Bad Wolf either written or said in pretty much every other episode apart from a few, maybe Father's Day and I believe Dalek. No, not Dalek. I think it was said in Boomtown. I don't think it was said in The Empty Child or the Doctor Dancers though, and it wasn't said in Father's Day either. So it's just those 3 episodes where it wasn't mentioned, but it was mentioned in the others at least once. Or shown. So it's a good episode in my opinion. It just didn't sit right with me. Yeah, I liked the concepts. Charles Dickens had a great actor, but it was just missing something to me, but I can't put my finger on it. Anyway, the villain in The Unquiet Dead is the Gelf, which are these gaseous life forms, which are one of the many races which suffered from the aftermath of the Time War, which we'll get more onto in future videos. Now moving on to the 4th episode of the series, Aliens of London. Now, before you say anything, this one actually didn't take place in the present like Rose did when this series was released. It was actually filmed a year in advance due to missing posters of Rose all over the Powell estate. The total I gave for Aliens of London was a 5. What was that episode with the baby face on the Slovene and the fart gag? Yes, it's okay, but I don't think it has to be repeated so often. Along with how is the main Slovene in that episode hiding the zip to unmask himself? Because I understand how, I believe it's Margaret and the General were hiding their zips. One was under their hat, one was under their hair. What? How is Green hiding his zip? You can't be like, oh yeah, it has an invisibility cloak over it. No, that's Harry Potter. So that makes no sense to me. The Slovene are all, the villains in this episode are the same as the one in the next episode, which I'll get onto later. But I do need to mention something else in the Aliens of London one. The pig mermaid thing that happened halfway in it. It's okay, but I don't like it for some reason. I can't really explain it, but I think it was supposed to try and make a pig like a joke. That was the idea, but it wasn't funny in my opinion. It was just more along the lines of bad. Moving on, episode 5 is World War 3. World War 3. This one's a 6 out of 10. Simple as. It's a alright ending to the 2-parter with the Slovene. The plan is strange to cause countries to go against each other to destroy the world and sell it for profit. But it was well put together in the end. Not great, but the episode had a good one it was a good episode for Mickey. That's all I can say. Good redemption for well, not really redemption, but it helps Mickey out a lot. And I nearly said Ricky, but it's Mickey. It helped Mickey out a lot. God's sake. So yeah, that's all I can say about this 2-parter. It wasn't great, but I wouldn't say it's the worst episodes. Probably the worst 2-parter, but not the worst episode as of all of them. The villains in this one are the Slovene. I'm not going to say all their names because, well, that'll be a tongue twister on its own. So just insert a random word that's around 3 or 4 letters, and then add the following: Falfoch Pasmir Day Slovene. That's their entire name. And that's their family. They're all Slovenes with Falfoch Pasmir Day Slovene. Up next is episode 6, and that is Dalek. 7 out of 10. That's a good score. Well, I wouldn't say the highest because it's not. It's very well put together, great revival of the Daleks, and I think Henry Van Stassen got exactly what he deserved with his memory being wiped and becoming a homeless, I'm going to say junkie here in quotes, stranded on the streets of a city beginning with S. Kind of like how he did to his first supervisor, apart from it's a city beginning with a different letter. I can't remember what the other letter was, but it's really not important. But I think he got what he deserved. Like, if you do something bad to someone, they're going to do something bad to you. Yeah. The Dalek was great. It kind of went on a rampage, and by far the most deaths we've seen so far in the series. And I'm going to say we've seen because we don't exactly know how many people the Autons killed. But the Dalek, or Mesotron, is what its name is apparently. I'm going to say killed around maybe 50 or more people. No, hold on. I think it said 200 personnel dead, and all because of Henry Van Stassen. So the villain in this episode, I'm tempted to say the Dalek, or Mesotron, but I'm tempted to say it was actually Henry Van Stassen. But I'm not really sure. I would say both of them are the villains, because, yeah, the Dalek did kill tons of people, but Henry Van Stassen was responsible for it. So maybe both of them, more along the lines of Henry Van Stassen. Dalek is just there. God, I don't know what to say about this one. Okay. It's a good story. I like the revival of the Daleks, and a very good callback to the Cybermen in their original design, which looks kind of bad now, but it's still really good. And now with a good episode, we need to go to a bad episode. The Long Game. Episode 7. It got a 5 out of 10. Basically, it was an episode dedicated to showing Rose as a good companion, and is shown that not everyone is meant to travel in the TARDIS. But it just didn't have a good concept to me. I like the idea to show that Rose is a good companion and Adam isn't worthy of travelling with the Doctor. But, I don't like it. I really did not like it at all. The editor is a good villain, very menacing, but that probably just be my bias for Simon Pegg. I liked him. But then there's the other villain, which it's just like an insert monster here. It's just a big blob with a mouth. No eyes, no nose, just roars a lot and all that. And you're probably like, okay, if it's going to say the full names of all these villains, then this is a perfect time to say it. Here we are. The mighty Jagras of the Holy Hadrassic Maxarodon. There we are. Not that hard to say. Takes some practice to say though. The mighty Jagras is just a insert monster here kind of thing, and not great. The editor is a much better villain in my opinion. But like I said, it's probably my bias for the Simon Pegg. But not a great episode. I like the little teaser. I like the little joke at the ending. Just like when Adam's mum goes like, it's funny when you don't see people, but when you do see them, it's like time just flew by just like that. Just it's so funny. It's like, oh god. Nice knowing you, Adam. No, it wasn't. Anyway, moving on to the 8th episode of the series, Father's Day. Okay, this, I do need to say, is kind of biased, but this is my opinion in the end. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was a good episode. I like Sarepus, but it had Rose doing a lot of bad things after another, which is kind of ironic, considering we just had an episode dedicated to why she's a good companion. So, why? I don't know. Father's Day. Yeah, the main thing that Rose did wrong was probably alter the events of time like saving someone that she wasn't supposed to save. Yes, it was her father, but it's not supposed to happen. It's like the most common thing you see in any time travel movie, which you know is a bad thing to do. So yeah, Empty Child. Father's Day. Yeah, I like the episode. It had a really good story, in my opinion. There was just a lot of bad things about it that Rose did, but if I combine that with the kind of great bits about it, with the Doctor finally saying what he really wants to say to Jackie, sign me up. And Pete being a kind of great character, bringing him back in the next series. Anyway, wow, I've just gone over halfway through the series and there's 15 minutes of the video. Wow, okay. 5 more episodes to do and a ranking. The villains in Father's Day were the Reapers, which are those stone gargoyle things. The Empty Child is next, and that one is a 7 out of 10. It's a great start to the 2 parts. So the Empty Child is creepy, but not terrifying. The only terrifying part about that episode was the transformation scene where the doctor, not the doctor, the doctor of the hospital, had his face transformed into a gas mask zombie. It was so unsettling, but it was kind of good. I don't know what to say. It was great. Anyway, next is the Doctor Dances. 8 out of 10. This episode was dedicated to showing competition between the Doctor and Jack of how the Doctor is a man that can show Rose the world, but doesn't exactly dance and go with the flow of it, whilst Jack is a similar thing, but does dance and go with the flow of things. Which is absolutely amazing, and I like the training competition. Especially when... And the atmosphere dedicated in one of the scenes where the Doctor sends the Empty Child and a bunch of other gas mask zombies to their room. When the tape in the Empty Child's room goes out, they don't notice until it starts making more of a clear noise. And the Empty Child is still saying, I'm here. And you're like, oh gosh. Oh god. It was so... I wouldn't say it's perfect, because nothing is perfect. But this was amazing. I need to say this. Personally, this is actually a great episode. The villain in this one isn't exactly the Empty Child, but mostly the Empty Child. I would say it's more along the lines with the extraterrestrial Huon particles, which heal injuries. But since these Huon particles didn't exactly see a human like yourself or me, they just assumed it is supposed to take the form of that one child who's wearing a gas mask that got crushed by that thing that came down. But luckily it figured out and everybody lives! Moving on to Boomtown. 6 out of 10 that one is. It's better than the other Savine episodes in my opinion. But all of the info was from previous episodes and the dinner scene. That is set great atmosphere and was probably one of my favourite scenes with Christopher Eccleston in as the Doctor. That was amazing. I generally liked it a lot. The villain of Boomtown was blonde Val Foch past midday Sabine. Or Margaret. But Sabine. It's just Sabine. Yeah, you see a bit of development where Margaret or Blonde couldn't force herself to kill someone just because she said she has a child on the way and she's getting married. But yeah, she remembers her family, which died, but I don't really see why you don't. That person was going to try and stop her plan to tear open the earth, but no, just stop her. Just let her live. Yeah, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want her to die. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying, if she's going to stop your plan, that it's going to kill tons of people that have families of their own, why not kill that one person? Anyway, moving on to the last 2 episodes of the series, and I'm sure you know which ones they are. Bad Wolf. 8 out of 10. Best start to a 2-parter so far. Everything is great except for the Weakest Link room getting a bit of a downgrade. If you've seen the Weakest Link, you would see that the entire room was taken up with all the podiums of the actual people. But in Doctor Who, it just seemed to have lost so much in size. It just didn't seem as believable. But I like the Big Brother. God knows what room Jack was in. But yeah, it was great. All right. Yeah, I like the Big Brother part and the fact when the Doctor's like, "You've got to be joking," where he realised, "Oh God, we're in some problems now." I could go on forever about this, but looking at the time, I don't want this camera to go like, "Sorry, not enough storage to finish this video." I was like, okay, let's get this over with. Next is The Passing of the Ways. 9 out of 10, straight up. Excellent finale and great end to Eccleston's era as a Doctor. It was alright. Great conclusion to defeating the Daleks and the Emperor Dalek. And it's kind of grim how the Emperor Dalek revealed how he got so many Daleks. He got it from the bodies of the dead people, which has already been in the previous 100 years of these game shows. He plucks them, he stuffed them, he roasted them, basically to nothingness, and he put them inside a metal shell. Oh my gosh, that is grim. But it's actually, it's something that made this episode amazing. The total for the entire series is 88 out of 130. It's a great revival series with good and bad episodes, a good score to kick off my new series, and it's a good series to kick off up till now with new series of Doctor Who. So yeah, that is everything apart from the rankings of each episode from worst to best. The 2-parters do not count as one. So 13th place is Aliens of London. What can I say? I hate the Savine design. I don't understand how Mr. Green was able to hide his zipper. And that pig thing made no sense whatsoever, and I didn't like it. 12th place is The Long Game. Like I said, it was just an episode dedicated to Rose, to showing how she's a good companion, Adam's not. But like, the Jaggerfest was something that really hindered that to me, and I didn't like it at all. 11th place is The Unquiet Dead. I actually like this episode, but the other episodes are much better and have a more menacing tone to it. The Gelf is like, "Please help us. Oh, thank you for helping us. Now we're going to betray you." Oh, okay. Oh, you do you. That's not how it works. 10th place, and the Doctor actually supported what he wanted to do. He wanted to help the Gelf. But Rose knew it was a bad idea, even though different reason. But still, it was a bad idea. It was pretty obvious it was a bad idea. You don't help ghosts or gas things. Okay, 10th place is World War III. Yes, it's a good ending to the 2-parter, but like I said, Mr. Green is in there as a human form, just going, how do you get your zip hidden? I don't understand. That just makes no sense. 9th place is Boomtown. Yeah, okay, ending to Savine doesn't help much because I don't actually like it. The dinner scene was the only good thing about that episode, which I liked. And that's it. 8th place is The End of the World. Yeah, but it's an okay introduction to Face of Bow, Lady Cassandra O'Brien, Doctor 17. But that's it. You don't really see any of the other characters. It's just introduction to Rose getting used to hanging around aliens, and the translator for the that the TARDIS gives off to them. 7th place is Rose. Yeah, it's a good start to the series. One of my favourites, actually. That might change, because I actually seen up to Series 7 in Doctor Who, and then skipped Series 11, because I didn't like Peter Capaldi. But I'm going to watch this just to do... I'm going to watch his episodes just to do the reviews. But Rose was a great episode. Good revival. And Chris Eccleston's first line was actually really fun. It was actually really cool. And not what most lines are. It's like, run. Whew. Run. Yeah, run. 6th place is Father's Day. Yeah, I would have had it higher. But I think with the fact that Rose doing so many bad things, that just adds on to a bigger problem overall. It's just like, why? Why? You know this is going to happen, Rose. You had to let it take its place. Because I'm pretty sure she mentioned... Yeah, she did. In The Unquiet Dead. She says, well, I can't die, can't I? Because I'm still going to live in the future. If you die in the past, you die in the past. Simple as. So, yeah, Father's Day. If you save someone, this is going to be a worse thing. Okay, 5th place. I need to find it now. Is Dalek. Dalek. It's a good episode, don't get me wrong. Lots of people love this episode. I liked it as well. Especially because I remember when I first watched this episode, I'm like, oh, don't worry, the Daleks aren't that dangerous. Like, just go up some stairs and you're safe. And I was like, oh. The Daleks flying. Yep. Okay, now I'm scared of them. Yeah, I was 6. Okay. Wait, hold on. 12 years. No. 14, is it 14? Wow, is it actually 14? I don't know how old I was, but I was in the single digits of age. So, yeah, that was good. 4th place is The Empty Child. It was a really good starter to the series, to that 2-parter. I liked it a lot, and it's a great introduction to one of my favourite companions being Captain Jack Harkness. I think the one problem I have with it, though, is... probably Nancy and her dismissiveness about the proper bad thing at hand. And the fact she just steals from the higher class people. Which is good to help the homeless people, but bad at the same time. 3rd place is the Doctor Dancers. Similar thing, but I think I liked it a bit more due to the... I can't really explain this. The development Nancy gets and the fact that Jack realises what he did was wrong because he was a con artist and tries to redeem himself, which he does, and saves the Rose and Doctor, and the Doctor and Rose pay him back by saving Jack. So that's great. 2nd place is Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf. The thing which all of these episodes in series, well, most of them in series 1 have been leading up to. What does Bad Wolf mean? And Bad Wolf didn't answer that, but I think it is a good setup to how my favourite episode of the series answered it. My favourite episode is Passing of the Ways. Passing of the Ways answered the question, what is Bad Wolf? Bad Wolf is an entity that is inside Rose after she looks into the heart of the TARDIS. The Bad Wolf entity is what destroyed the Emperor Dalek's army by turning it to dust, and himself, and actually given Jack infinite deaths, infinite lives. And yeah, it is the reason why the Doctor regenerated, but I think it's a good ending to Christopher Eccleston, since he actually committed ages ago. He actually doesn't like Doctor Who. He just brought it back, which I have to respect. I like that he brought back a series which he doesn't exactly like watching to bring it back. I have to give him respect for that. And yeah, I am being biased. I like Christopher Eccleston a lot. But anyway, that's all for this time. Wait, hold on. Is that everything? Yes. Next video that I upload will be Battle of the Beasts Part 6. Crab versus Doomskull. Make sure you don't miss it if you like Beast Quest. Anyway, that's all for this time. If you liked what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe. Tell me what you think of this new series. Press on the notification bell down in the corner below. Like I said, leave a comment down below if you really like what I'm doing in the series. Say what you want to improve as well. This has extended the 30-minute mark. This is my longest video. And I'll see you next time.